ask her something like that makes sense. What's applicable that you're using right now with the Lynx that you think will be applicable in Paris? But don't ask her about Caitlin Clark not being on the team. That's dumb. Sorry, I got to go. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm on my soapbox. I'm sorry, guys. I don't like dumb. I don't like dumb questions. I don't like when people ask dumb questions. That stuff get on my nerves.
So we are incredibly excited that our girl Sharí is going to be in Paris right after the All-Star weekend. That's going to be a lot of fun to see Sharí in Paris. She's going to get a firsthand look, most likely, of what Team USA is looking like. And I think everybody's excited about Team USA, right?
Yeah.
But one thing I know is that the head coach of Team USA, Cheryl Reeves, really knows how to compartmentalize, right? She likes to very much stay focused on what she's doing in that moment. So when she is coaching the Minnesota Lynx and in the press conferences, you are asking her questions about Team USA. She ain't always the most friendly as it relates to wanting to answer those questions. She's not in that moment or in that headspace. So imagine the response that she gave to a colleague, Myron Metcalf, who works at ESPN, when he asked her after a loss, by the way, to the Indiana Fever. I thought it was after. Was it before? Okay. I thought it was after, but before. Okay. Got it. So before the game, when he gets ready to, as she again prepping, getting ready to prepare to play the Indiana Fever, he asks her about Caitlin Clark. He asked her about Team USA, and Cheryl wasn't really here. Wasn't really here for the questions. Cheryl basically was like, "Listen, I'm dressed in Lynx. I'm here for the Lynx. Like I'm not really here to answer questions about, I'm not really here to answer questions about Team USA. I'm not really here to answer questions about, I'm not part of the committee. I'm not part of the people that select who makes the team and who does not. So I'm not really here." And very dismissive of the question. So of course, the brigade of those who feel that someone should have been on the Olympic team kind of took this as a sign of disrespect that she did not want to answer the question about Caitlin Clark being on the team. So Chris, very quickly, what are your overall thoughts of Cheryl Reeves' dismissing of the question about Caitlin Clark and Team USA?
I love that shit. Cheryl don't give a fuck. Like she said about, how do you feel about, the crowd potentially being more pro Fever than pro Lynx in your own building? She's like, I don't give a shit. I don't give two shits. Right. And for that question to be asked during a game, a WNBA game, I get why she responded the way she did. Myron has every right to ask whatever question he wants. But if you know Cheryl, you know that she's not going to give you them politically correct answers. She's going to give you them answers that are very direct and blunt. I'm getting ready for a game against Indiana. We're trying to stay afloat without one of the MVP candidates, right? Nafisa Collier. I'm not thinking about the Olympic team and Caitlin Clark. I'm thinking about shutting her down and the rest of the team. And again, I love that she brought up, I'm not part of the committee. I don't have to deal. I'm not dealing, or I'm not the ones who are selecting the players. You can ask the committee that, and you find your way to do that when you have the time. But I'm the coach, and I'm wearing Lynx apparel. When I get to the Olympics, sure, go ahead. But right now, I'm focused on my team. So I have no issue with Cheryl Reeve responding the way that she did. And people say, oh, she's being so resentful and jealous. No, it's because she sees exactly what the fuck is going on that everybody else did. Remember when they were just promoting Caitlin for these preseason games? They didn't have the Lynx Sky game. And she was like, yeah, they only care about one person. That wasn't directed at Caitlin. It was directed at how people, the powers that be, market Caitlin and not others. Because there's nothing wrong with marketing Caitlin and putting her out there. The problem is with not promoting the other deserving teams and players. So I understand why she's fed up. Sharí, you probably understand, right, too?
Myron. Read the room, bruh. That's like journalism 101. And this is the problem. We're in a very clout chasing type of environment, which is bled into the world of journalism. Okay. So I'm gonna be straight journalist with you because I am a journalist. You can look it up.
You are.
It's in the records. So I can say these concepts. Number one, to Chris's point, know who you're talking to. If you understand the temperature or or the temperament of the person you're interviewing, that will help you to craft the appropriate questions at the appropriate times. Why would you ask that question prior to the game? That's number one. Number two, when was the decision made that Caitlin wouldn't be on the team? It's like at least 3 weeks ago, correct?
Yep.
So why are we still talking about this?
That's what.
So to me, that says you're searching for a soundbite. I don't like thirsty journalists, and it's not personal to him. I'm seeing it happen across the board. I'm watching journalists go down this same rabbit hole that the media is helping to push them into instead of resisting that and saying, hey, what is most important right now? What are some pertinent questions I can ask of this coach that actually help advance not only the audience's experience of this game, but also of this team? Getting to know this coach, getting to know this team. What are the X's and O's? And the X's and O's at the time have nothing to do with Caitlin Clark not being on Team USA. That has already been addressed. That has already been dealt with. Move on. You got to learn how to move on in this world of journalism. So the clout chasing, I don't like it. And actually, I'm okay with Coach Reeves' response as well, because somebody has to shut it down. Because you all don't know how to shut it down, because you're not disciplined enough to shut it down. I'll shut it down for you. I bet you're not going to ask for that again. And it's unfortunate that sometimes the press puts these coaches and players in positions to have to shut it down because they won't. But in this instance, the question was inappropriate. The timing was inappropriate. And it was totally unnecessary. We've already talked about this. Stop trying to drudge up controversy. It's not there. Stop trying to make something be that it's not. And as a journalist, you have to know that. And mind you, even asking her the question at that time, you're not moving in objectivity. You're clearly leaning in a certain direction, whether it's your direction or the direction somebody else told you to lean into. But that's not objectivity. We've dealt with it already. Move on. So good. You leave her alone now. You won't ask her that no more. And nobody else asks her that. It's totally besides the point. She's not on the team. We've known for almost a month. Get over it. Move on. If anything, ask her about, hey, how are you as a coach? The dualities of, you're still in season, but how are you coaching with this team now and the Lynx and all that you're working on? How are you going to take some of these things and these concepts and these strategies and push them into Team USA? Ask her something like that makes sense. What's applicable that you're using right now with the Lynx that you think will be applicable in Paris? But don't ask her about Caitlin Clark not being on the team. That's dumb. Sorry, I got to go. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm on my soapbox. I'm sorry, guys. I don't like dumb questions. I don't like when people ask dumb questions. That stuff get on my nerves.
You're not wrong about timing and the framing of the question.
That matters too.
I have asked Coach Cheryl Reeve questions about Team USA prior to a game, and I have gotten answers.
What were your questions like?
I was just about to say, this was, to your point of timing, this was immediately when the roster was released.
Makes sense to me.
She was playing Connecticut. And I said, how fortunate do you feel that you will not only have to be game planning against Alyssa Thomas, but everything that you know about her as an opponent, you get to have on Team USA.
Look at that.
Beautifully set up. That's why you're the journalist that you are.
That's a great question.
She talked about the things that she has to game plan against Alyssa and how she thinks that will help Team USA. My question, my thought process in question framing. So number one, was literally when Team USA was being announced. It was relevant. It was a relevant topic at the time, right? Okay. Y'all are getting ready to play the Fever. So a question about Caitlin Clark isn't out the question.
Absolutely.
I mean, she's an opponent that you're framing for.
Correct.
But I think if you wanted to bring in Team USA or throw up Team USA in that moment, I think your question probably should have been structured more around how your team, who has players that will be playing on Team USA, will be playing against players on Indiana who have players that may not be playing in Team USA. And the All-Star game.
There you
Team
go.
USA.
There you
Team
go.
WNBA.
There you go.
Because you got Kelsey, you got Caitlin. Hey, I know Caitlin Clark was somebody who was, reported to be a contender for a Team USA spot. However, she will be playing and on Team WNBA. How do you take what you guys are playing against today, or the scouting that you've done against her now, and help your player? Like anything, you could have done anything.
And y'all see how we came up with questions in 2 minutes? It's not hard. So you have to be intentional to ask a question like he
it could have been anything.
It's clout chasing. I ain't
to
got time
your point,
for it.
this is no shade to Myron. Myron is an experienced journalist. He knows what he's doing. Good friend of mine. No.
Tell Myron it's not personal. That just got on my nerves, but it ain't got nothing to do with him.
None whatsoever. It's not personal. However, I just thought this was a bad question, and I thought it was bad timing as well. And I know Cheryl enough to know that she's gonna give it to you straight, no chaser, and she will answer questions if she feels the questions are relevant. The question in this particular instant wasn't relevant.